We're live. We're here. Get ready for whatever is gonna happen next. Hello, everyone. Hello. Hey guys. Hey. I think I've been cursed with a scuff week. The 2 streams that I try and do in a week, nothing goes according to plan. My Snufkin stream, OBS crashed. And you guys didn't even see most of the gameplay. And then I got that fixed. And then the game crashed. So that was, whatever day that was. Wednesday night for me, I think. Anyway, tonight, I wanted to do a cool stream talking about my South Korea trip. And show off pictures I took of all the pretty cherry blossoms and everything. And, you know, lately, since the trip, the bedtime schedule had been kind of pushed back a little bit. But tonight was like the first night we actually got to bed, like got bedtime started on a good time. And it was probably only like 9:30 or something getting Dokid to bed. And I was like, sweet, I got time. I can get all my pictures together. I was going to be streaming on my other little laptop, so I was going to need to, like, put more of the assets, like, set stuff up on this OBS, because most of it's set up on the other OBS, on the other laptop. I was like, sweet, I'll have lots of time. I can get everything ready and start streaming at 11. And then I fell asleep and then woke up at 11. I think Milliardo finally came to check on me, and it was like 11. And I was like, this is the time I wanted to start stream, and nothing is ready. And as soon as I got up from Dokid, Do Baby woke up, so I had to nurse him back to sleep. And I was like, man, this is not how I wanted my night to go. And I was like, you know what? I keep trying to raid Merryweather, and he keeps like going, like he's got his subathon and he keeps falling asleep. And I want to raid him when he's awake, because I have a plan that I want to raid him specifically so that I can put the like raid message as Minna likes Clinic of Horrors or loves Clinic of Horrors. I like that comic. I like that comic of his. I like a lot of his comics, but I particularly like that one. I want to tell him specifically through a raid, and that's my goal. And so when I first sat down to try and like set stuff up on OBS, I was like, I'll just do a stream that's specifically just going live so that I can like then turn around and raid into Merryweather finally. And then I was doing that, and then I checked how his stream was going, and he was like going to bed at that moment. And I was like, well, now that plan's not gonna work. Let's see, I'm kind of glad I had Unholy Night shift, because I get home just in time to catch the stream. Yeah. Glad you could make it. Yeah, it's kind of late for me. It's already like 12:30, but I'm like, man, I had a whole plan for like a cool stream I wanted to do, and that's not happening. So I'll at least go live. I don't know, hang out for a bit. Maybe I'll do some writing, or I'll just kind of like sit and write and hang out or something. The not so master plan. Yeah, it's not no plans are working lately. But I had a fun day. It was a nice Saturday. The MOPS group had like they try and do like a mom's night out, day out once a month. And so this month it was thrifting. Went to one of the cool thrift stores. There was only like 3 of us that went, but that was fine. Worked perfect. I haven't gone like really like ham clothes, like really gone all in clothes shopping in a while. But today I went clothes shopping, and I got a lot of clothes. It's so cheap though, like 300 yen, 500 yen, maybe 800 yen. I think there was like a few things that were like 1,000 yen or a little bit more. So like super cheap. Like the conversion rate is like very in favor of the dollar, so it's very nice. But yeah, it's like the clothes are so cheap. Like you know, maybe $3 or $5 kind of equivalent. And there was a lot of cute clothes, and I had the time to like get a bunch and try them on, so that's what I did, and I found a lot of cute things. I kind of wanted to like take pictures of those and show them off too, just like have like a coat hanger and like take pictures of all the clothes that I got today. They're very cute. There's some very cute things. I think I got 2 dresses. I got a lot of shirts and some like hiking shorts and like a new skirt. Hello background noise. Hello Loop Blanc. Hello Salty. Hello Skellingtron. Hello Madeline Aria. Hello Long. Hello Quaker22. I think that's everyone. Hello everyone. Hello. Thanks for coming to whatever this is gonna be. I don't know how long it's gonna last. Probably at whatever point I hear Joe baby crying, I'll just like immediately end stream so I can go to bed. But so it was nice. Went out thrifting, hung out with the friends, and then we went and got lunch. So it was nice. It was a nice day. And then went to mass for the Saturday night mass. There's a little playground the kids played. It was nice weather. So it was a good day. I was very disgruntled when I woke up and I was like, I had plans and I fell asleep. And I know this happens a lot. And so usually I try and listen to something while I'm snuggling Dokid. And I had an audiobook. And I should have like put on YouTube or something, because the audiobook can kind of lull you to sleep sometimes. And now I gotta figure out where I was at in the audiobook. So I should just put on some sort of like Am I the A-hole Reddit stories to listen to or something to keep me awake instead in my headphones. Oh well. I don't think we have any plans tomorrow. It's kind of a chill day. So we'll see what we do. Probably at least go to the park or something. How's everyone else? How is everyone? You know, last stream I was commenting that I've never really done a Zatsu. And I was like, I'll do a Zatsu, and then I ended up reading about Yoshi Shortery. It was the same because it was the same name as the game where you like talk on topics, and the last one has to like start with the next subject has to start with the last syllable of the last subject. So someone mentioned that game, and I looked it up, but it was also a guy that escaped jail 4 times, so it was really fascinating. So that's what I did last stream. Wi-Fi's been crap all week. That sucks. No Wi-Fi. No Li-Fi. I slept all of yesterday, which was bad. That heart always... try to be productive in the middle of the night, because that's how things work, right? Yeah, I can understand that. It's frustrating when it's like, but the time's gone. Even when I like need sleep, there's many times I'm like, okay, I have like a little span of time. Do I sleep? Like, especially if like someone else can have the kids. It's like, do I sleep or do I get a chance to do something else? Oh, and then then your sleep schedule's thrown off, but I don't know. Gotta try and get back the time somehow, even if it's in the middle of the night. Hopefully you get next couple days are better, and you get good sleep and time to get things done. I will say, in a way, it kind of helps having kids and being productive, because like it's so hard to get anything done that if you get a little span of time, you're like, okay, this is it, I can do something. Doesn't always work that way, but sometimes it's a good motivation of like, gotta get it done while I can. It's like the nap time crunch or something. But I don't know, I think I need for forever now, it feels like. I keep telling myself, I need to get back into writing. I need to figure out how to make time for that, especially since I can carve out time for streaming, which is time that I'm not writing. But I still want to write, but I still want to stream. I did the other day, talking about nap time crunch, Because there's always a million things to choose of like what do you do when you actually have a moment. So like during nap time the other day, I sat and I've got like a story that I wrote like years ago, like three years ago, and it's done. It just needed to be like read over and proofread, tweak a few things here and there. So I was reading over that to like officially finally like have that story done, and as a way to like ease back into writing. So I did that the other day during nap time, and that was really nice. So I might work on that while I just kind of hang out with you guys. Kind of like I know people will do like study with me streams where I don't know, it feels like I'm not entertaining you, but you know what? Maybe we can just kind of like, maybe I won't worry about the entertaining so much, which is funny because I feel like that's what I'm supposed to do here. But I don't know. Maybe you guys can be like the people watching me, so I feel like, oh, I gotta write. I can't get distracted by other things. Does that make sense? Well, you could always brainstorm ideas into a journal or a spreadsheet between projects, then devote like one day a week to just putting pen to metaphorical paper. Yeah, I've made different like plans, like sort of schedules of like each night of the week is like after the kids are asleep, like all right, now this is a streaming night, or this is a catch up on house night, or this is a write night, like writing stuff. And I've come up with many plans like that, and I just need to figure out how to like follow through and do it. I need to get my planner and my little binder back out somewhere I can access it easier and try and I don't know. I'm not very great naturally at like routines like that, but I want to be. Let's see. I try to do that when me and my friends paint together. We always become distractions for each other. Yeah. It's kind of like I don't know where my thought went. Kind of doing things together, but doing your own thing is always that can be fun. That can be fun. Milliardo's upstairs playing Helldivers. I can hear him from down here. That's why I'm using this laptop so he could play. That's the strong laptop. This one works fine for streaming as long as I don't need to like do too much, run games or anything. Oh, but I don't know. I think maybe I'll pull up what I need to work on for managed democracy. Woo! It's a very funny game. We did a stream a little while ago where I like sat and watched him play some. I think it's on his channel. Watched him play Helldivers, and he explained it to me, and I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. I get the hype. Just like the way it's set up, where it's like everyone's fighting together to liberate areas and stuff. I'm like, okay, I see the appeal for you. I would probably just flail if I ever tried to play it. I was not very good at the, what's it? Is it Iron Core? Whatever that other mech game was. I, like, attempted to fight the helicopter. Like, even just the Snufkin game, where it's, like, very, like, kid mechanics, it feels like. Because, like, jumping, you, like, stand in one spot till a circle appears, and then you press the, like, arrow and jump key. It makes you jump to that exact spot. So that's even complicated for me sometimes. Well, that's alright. I'm looking forward to talking about the Korea trip and showing off pictures, though. I'm gonna try and do that my Tuesday night, I think. I need to write down what places I like really enjoyed going, or places I didn't go for next time. That way, next time I visit, I'm already one step ahead of what I want to do. It's very pretty there, very pretty. I can't stop yawning. Oh, it's so late. Man, if I'd been just a little bit quicker, I could have done my silly little start a stream just so I could raid Merryweather. I will get him eventually. I keep wanting to raid him, and then he either like ends stream or he goes to sleep. And I have raided him before when he's asleep, but I specifically want to raid him so I can tell him I like his one comic, and I could probably tell him in other ways that I like that one comic. But now it's like a mission. I'm talking with my hands. I'm so passionate. You guys can't see it, but it's a thing in my head now. I'm like, I need to raid him specifically so I can tell him I like this one comic. No other way is acceptable. We'll get him next time. His Donathon's been going on over a week now. Like a week and a half? 2 weeks? Maybe it'll be 2 weeks Friday. I can't remember when he started. It's been going hard. Oh, you know what? I think I might pull up. Pull up the writing I wanted to work on. There's so many tabs open on this poor computer. I gotta go through my tabs. Most of the time I keep my writing in like, at one point I had like Microsoft Word Office until that expired, and now I use the LibreOffice or Scrivener. But I was moving, the one story was in Scrivener, and I was moving it to Google Docs. I don't know, maybe if I have things in Google Docs I can like work on stuff on my phone if I'm just like, the kids are running around outside and I'm just kind of supervising. Maybe. It's hard though, because it takes such like mental focus. It's hard to like multitask when you're writing. Hopefully it goes well. I have an idea for a book. So you want to build your own island. But it's going to take literally months to research before I can even start writing it. Yep. All the research. Sounds neat though. Sounds like a neat book. I have a story that's been... It was like this little snippet short story I wrote like when I was like 15. And always wanted to like expand it, and I did some like brainstorming and plotting to like fill out more of the story. So I've got a pretty good idea of what I want the story to do, but it's gonna take a lot of research because it's like kind of alt history, and there's, I don't know, there's so much that I want to put into the background and the world building, and like kind of drawing from where we're at and kind of like pushing it 100 years or exaggerating things, or I don't know, there's so much that I want to put into it, and it's gonna take a lot of research. It's gonna take so much research. I can like, I don't think I'm gonna start trying to write that one for a while now. I got some other books I want to write first, but man, it's gonna take so much research. I need to, as I like learn things, or I don't know, information comes up where I'm like, oh, that would be helpful, I need to make a more organized like document to start putting everything on, so that way when I go back to writing I have more built up like ideas and stuff to draw on. Though it's writing sci-fi and doing lots of research, I like write very soft sci-fi. The sci-fi I've written, it's more like if compare sci-fis to ice creams, where like hard sci-fi is like ice cream, where it's the more like detailed nitty-gritty techie stuff, versus like kind of more space opera-y, or as I put it, like soft served. My ice cream's more soft served. It's more space fantasy. I don't know. It's like take some. Not everything like the hard sci-fi is like everything could logically like follow whatever, like I don't know, maybe a little more basis in reality or like theories or something. Whereas the way I write is I take a little bit of like what we know or what's true and kind of like play with it in space, I guess, or make it consistent and believable. Anyway, I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah, with research, there comes a point where like you gotta stop researching and just start writing, because otherwise if you just get stuck in research, then you'll never write anything. So I feel like that with plotting. I tend to like to plot, but sometimes, like, there's a certain point where you don't have everything yet, but you just got to start putting words to page. Because there's a lot of things that come up when you start putting words to page that you don't expect. And then you can work off of there. When I used to write sci-fi, a lot of the brainstorming theory crafting was centered around economic prediction, since money makes the world go round. Oh, that's a fun way to do it. There's so much fun things, so many fun ways you can play with stuff in stories. I like being able to like take ideas and kind of like poke at them or like push them to their extreme and see what happens. The Wikipedia journey can be a time eater. I think I do a lot of like YouTube because I guess I'm more of like I guess it's easier to absorb the information like audibly for me. So I do a lot of YouTube. I'll search up a lot of stuff on YouTube. Yeah, I'm a pantser with a dash of plotting, so usually I end up doing the bare minimum of research and then doing more as I go. Yeah, definitely. I feel like there's always things that come up that you circle back to. The first draft is always the first draft's always the first draft. It's gonna take a lot more work. So you can't overthink it, you just gotta get it down. And then you can always edit and go back. Hello there, John Arks. Welcome. We're hanging out. Oh, did you go to the these palace names I can't say. Gyeong Bakgang. I have no idea how to pronounce the Korean, like especially the long Korean names. We did go to that one. And we saw the changing of the guards, which was really cool, and I got pictures of it. So on my stream, hopefully my Tuesday night or Tuesday morning or something like that, I have pictures. It's very pretty. I like that one. But yeah, that's the one we went to. We didn't go to the other one. Maybe next time. What was I gonna say? Man, my brain is just not working tonight. I can't remember nothing. Writing. Something about writing. I don't know, maybe that's why bread became such a thing, is late at night, it doesn't take too much brain power to make bread, whereas if I'm already tired, it takes a lot of brain power to try and sit and write. I will get back to it. Maybe I'll do it right now. Let me go to my story. I won't read it to you guys. You guys can't hear this story yet. Maybe I'll read this one to you. We'll see. But for now, I'll just read it. It'll be like a study with me stream. I've never completed a story, but the thought has always been what I want to happen. What's the cool scene I wanted to write, and then how can I stitch them together and then do research to make it work? Yeah, it's like, because I did a lot more pantsing when I first started writing, and I kind of thought of it like, you got like the peaks of the mountains, or like the scenes that are like strong in your head of like, I want this to happen and this to happen, and then like the valleys are like what you figure out how to connect them and fill in the details and such. There's so many ways to go about it. There's something else I was going to say. I can't remember. My knowledge is questionable. Panting? Or if you're referring to like pantsing, means like writing by the seat of your pants. One thing I will say is making YouTube scripts means literally churning out 1,000 to 4,000 words a day, and that's a good way to keep one's skills sharp, I found. I've never written a YouTube script. But yeah, that's one way to do it. Who was it? Skelintron. Now Meriwether was talking about writing in one of his streams recently. And I liked his advice where it's like, short stories are a great way to, one, it's harder to write a short story. It's really easy to let the words run away with you. That happens to me a lot, where it's like, I'll write this size story. Nope, it's going to be a much bigger story now. It's much harder to write a short story in some ways, because you kind of have to keep it concise. But it is a really good way to practice, one, like finishing a story, and like building up your kind of confidence and skill, being like, look, I can do this. I wrote this short story. And it helps kind of hone your process of writing. Like, I wrote a whole bunch of short stories at one point. And that definitely helped me learn my process of, like, cultivating an idea into a story. So that it's like, all right, I have an idea. I have, like, a rough idea. How do I take that and, like, do some research and poke at the idea and kind of a back and forth of, like, brainstorming and research to help, you know, shape the idea into a story. Because that's definitely a skill, to be able to do that, so you're not just kind of like, you know, you can't just wait around and be like, I wonder when my story's going to come into my head or my inspiration strike. So writing short stories is a great way to, one, find out your process and, like, repeat that and get better at it, so you, and then, you know, generally, you know, writing and getting better. And then it's like, it's, you know, you can finish it start to end. So that's a good way to do it. Then, because otherwise, if you like start a bunch of novels, you probably get lost in the sauce in the middle. Whereas a short story, you can figure out more how to, you know, your skill at progressing the plot or shaping things up and such. I'm thinking you randomly panting people. Unless you pronounce that like pantsing. I remember when people would do that, it was such a dumb thing, like pulling people's pants down, if that's what you're referring to. That happened when I was like young. It was so dumb. Anyway, yeah, that is 100% how I write. I have scenes that have to happen, and I just connect the dots. I think Milliardo is very similar too. He's much more of a pantser than I am. And, you know, writing by the seat of the pants, not pulling people's pants down. But I also have several stories going at a time so that I can swap when I get stuck. It also gives you the chance to step away and see it again fresh. That can work. I don't know if I've had a lot of stories going at once. Maybe like 2. I don't know. I can't think of a time that I've had like 3 or something going at the same time. Usually I want to like work on one. Keep my mind kind of in that world. It does help taking like, gosh man, it's been so long since I've done writing stuff. I need to get back into it, but it definitely helps like write a story and then like step away a bit and then, you know, give it a little bit of space and then come back to edit. Or especially if you have someone that can proofread and then let them look at it and then you can go back to it. When I think writing, I think of the SpongeBob moment. Oh yeah, where he like takes forever and writes like the funny like fancy letter. I'm sure it can feel like that sometimes. SpongeBob, time to start, hours later, done. Let's see how far we got. He wrote the. You just gotta word vomit sometimes. You just can't overthink it. You just gotta get words on a page. You can't edit a blank page. Sometimes you just gotta like throw stuff down. Edit it later. Editing is such a like love-hate relationship with me. It's editing. I have a friend. She likes the editing better than the initial writing. I like the initial writing better than the editing. Someday we gotta write a book together, because a lot of like our strengths kind of like complement each other, where I think she has a harder time with like, I want to say like dialogue and like conveying the emotions during dialogue. I think a lot of times she'll, you know, get it down and then go back and kind of slowly work through adding in the sort of tags to the dialogue of like how the people are reacting and such. Whereas I think I'm pretty good at that. But then she's also really good at descriptions of things, and like kind of setting the scene up in your mind, of the atmosphere and stuff. So she's really good at that. Someday we'll work together and write a story. It will happen. Text versus writing. Text, like, I'm not sure what you mean. Text versus writing. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Mr. Darin Root. True, you can't edit a blank page, but many times you can edit a filled one into a blank one. Yeah. Sometimes you gotta trim a lot of words. Kind of hurts a little bit, but if it makes the story better, you gotta do it. I feel like for me too, I gotta like, as I go back, watch for too many like repetitive words, like using but, like certain words too often in sentences. Alright, let's see, where is my document? People can text multiple words a minute. Oh, I mean, that's different. That's like having a conversation. I mean, yeah, sending a text, having a text conversation is much different than writing a story. Much different. Well, I've always loved writing. I wish I could actually illustrate, but the most I can do is technical drawing and diagrams, which I guess will help with book ideas, but beyond that, I've kind of had the same wish of like, I used to draw a fair bit when I was younger, like in my younger teen years, and that kind of fell to the side, and it would be nice, because like there's the one story that I held on for years because I was trying to figure out the illustrations because I wanted to illustrate, like have it illustrated, and like I thought about doing it. I kind of was like keeping an eye out, and I like met someone at a like a little Saturday market, and her art style was perfect. So we worked together, and it turned out really awesome. I need to do more stories in that universe. Those are the ones I want to work on soon. After I finish this little short story that I'd written like 3 years ago that I just need to like read over and like finally click done on it, then I'll get back to this other. There's like the one book, and I have 2 others in mind in the same, like it's kind of a prequel and sequel to the first book. And one of them's written. The other one's still like the general kind of ideas and like the direction I want it to go is in mind. I gotta like figure out exactly the details. But one of them's written, so I could just start working on that one and then try and write the other one. My goal is by the end of the year to have both of those stories done. It's already 4 months into the year. I haven't really started, but anyways. Hi Minna, I missed you. Hello there, Samuel Castillo. Welcome to the stream. I'm glad you could make it. Teachers ruined my love for writing. This is why I'm very glad I was homeschooled. Very glad I was homeschooled. I actually had time, and no one bashed in my love for writing and reading and writing. And I spent most of my teen years writing. I was writing even before I could properly read. Okay, the other thing is, reading didn't click in my head till I was like 10. I wanted to read. I tried. You know, Mom would work with me on it, and then there's kind of a point where it's like trying to sit and like work on it together. Of like me try and like struggle through reading aloud and work on stuff was just like not going anywhere. So she kind of stepped back, and she read it to us a lot. I listened to a lot of audiobooks. I loved stories. I wanted to read and write, so I knew how to write letters. I just came up with my own spelling and started writing stories. I probably didn't get more than like a paragraph, but the stories were always in my head. Then I finally, clicked for reading around 10. I think at 12, I was like started writing like my first novel, which I feel like we all have our first, especially if you like are really young and like try and start writing a novel. We all have like our first novel that will never see the light of day because it was just like kind of all over the place. I think I got. Maybe I had 100 pages into that one. I don't know what, like, the space... I forget. I doubt it was, like, double-spaced. But then when I was 14, I think I started the different story. And at that point, I was like, I'm going to write. I want to be a writer. I want to write stories. So from, like, 14 onwards, I spent a lot of time writing. And too much time being distracted by YouTube. But... spent a lot of time writing. Got published when I was 18. First, I got a short story published when I was 18, which was like my dream ever since I was like, from the time I was like, all right, I'm going to be a writer. The goal was like, I want to be published by the time I'm 18. But I was thinking like novels. And I had like one novel done, and like most of the other novel, because the novel is going to be like a series, because they always turn into a series, and but it ended up being a short story, so that was pretty cool. Of like the dream actually happened. So yeah, I feel like I did like, it was nice though because I spent all that time and I developed those skills. They're still in there somewhere. I just gotta dig them back out. And then so I have those. I worked on that, and then I can kind of set them aside while I'm busy being a mom for the most part. And then later I can dig them back out, because it would be much harder now with the responsibilities of an adult and everything, carving out time to like write all those words, because it's like, what's that, you know, the one author's like, you gotta write like, you know, however many bad words before you really get something. So anyway, I'm glad I had all that time being homeschooled to be just write, develop my skill, and then I can tuck that skill away until later. Slowly pull it back out. Let's see, I gotta catch up on chat. That's why I find script writing so easy. Finding at least 2 different voices and getting them to talk to each other rather than describing the whole setting. Yeah. I've done that. I did that with my imaginary cat sometimes. I made like some blog posts where I was talking to my imaginary cat like that when I was in like a writing funk. It was pretty fun. Yeah, it's definitely different. I haven't really tried screenwriting much. But yeah, dialogue. I like dialogue. Dialogue's a lot of fun. Double I sounds like Y because of Spanish. Oh, for the name. Double L sounds like Y because of Spanish. Okay, Samuel Castillo. Samuel Castillo, I think. All right. Magnus Barson. Dang it, you're making me want to pick up my stuff again. I have drafted 9 novels and 3 novel-length series, but with some recent things, I haven't been able to do any of it. Yeah, it's one of those things that's like, there's not going to be a magic time fairy that's just going to give you the time to do these creative things. Like, if you want to see it happen, you got to just figure out even a little bit of time here and there to make it happen. So I definitely relate of like, and it's like, I know writing is such a big part of me in a way. And you know, and like this time in my life with small kids, I'm like, I know this is like, you know, the trenches of, you know, only having little kids and such. But they're only little ones, and it's so precious and so fun. So it's like, I'm at peace and I'm okay with things having been on hold for a while. But I'm also like, I still want to make an effort to like try and work it back in here and there as much as I can, because like it's not just gonna happen. Like I have to make it happen in some way. Let's see. Teachers write something. 5 minutes later, write something. I wonder how many novels were if someone was nagging them every 5 freaking minutes. That would be. Yeah, no. I was the one story that I'm gonna try and like read over now ish. I tried writing that when Doe Kid was like a year or something, and so he could like run around on his own, but it was like he was constantly coming over to me. Like I was interrupted like 5 minutes at best, you know, every like other minute or so, and then every time I'm interrupted, then I gotta get like back into the story, and then every time I'm interrupted, I'm like, oh, I could just check Facebook real quick. So it was all over the place. It was very hard to focus. So yeah, being interrupted. Oh, and writing, and like I was like a hermit in my room, and I would always like just be back there writing. And you know, if people came to like interrupt me, like brothers, I had a giant mirror in my room. It like took up one wall, and my brothers would just come in and like start flexing. Or like one of them would come in to talk to me, and then another one would come in and they'd start talking to each other. Then a third one would come in and they'd all start flexing in my mirror, and I'm just sitting to the side like, guys, go away. I'm trying to write. Leave me alone. I think I had a mug that was like, go away, I'm writing. But then people would forget to tell me when dinner was done, and there'd be cold food. And I was like, no, the curse of the creative sister in her room that no one tells, let's know that dinner's ready, and it's always cold. Writers need time, apparently. Apparently they don't understand that. Like, you can't just keep interrupting. Very hard to do that. Let's see. My first novel came from an ex. Yeah, never see the light of day. yeah. I'm sure we all have something like that. Poems or stuff. I don't know. Maybe some people don't, but anyone that has a sort of creative writing bent probably has something like that. I can still remember when I was in middle school, my mother would make me do research papers in the summer. Then in high school, I had to do readings and literary analysis papers for AP English. I've never done any of that. I haven't had to write papers ever, I think. Our focus was like reading, writing, and arithmetic. And we didn't really do tests or grades or anything. It was more like, all right, teach you guys how to learn is like the main thing. And then there's a lot of things you pick up on, learn on just through like living in life and like asking questions. So I didn't have to do any like writing papers or anything ever, really. Because then I decided to skip out on college because I'm like, I don't know what the paper is going to do for me. I already know how to write. I already have like other resources. Like, what do I want to do with my life? I want to write and raise kids. And I already know how to write. I already have a lot of good connections. And I went and lived at my favorite author's house for like 2 months, learned all their secrets. It's a couple. They're like a couple that they're both great writers, and they're my friends. So I was just like, I'm just gonna stay with you and learn all your writing secrets, because she was doing a little writing. She created this little writing course and was teaching it to her sons. So that was fun. So I don't know. When I was looking at colleges, I'm like, what is the piece of paper that's saying I have a degree gonna do for me that I can't already do? Nothing? All right, I'll skip it. Not gonna lie, school ruined my enjoyment of writing because we never got actual time to develop our out stuff at a good period of time. Yeah, I can only imagine. Didn't help that I still am very uncreative. Yeah, sounds rough. I honestly don't know what it's like because I never did it. I just wrote my name on a list of curses. Interesting. Let's see. Don't worry about it. Just Samuel is okay. All right. See, I can write stories. I'm not always great at reading, but I can write stories. Let's see. I can still remember in middle school. Oh wait, no, yeah, I already read that. All right. Trying to keep up with the chat. I love school, but that's because I always had awesome teachers. Yeah. Definitely makes a big difference who's teaching you. Fancy pieces of paper are fancy, though. I guess they are salty, but I don't know. I got a husband instead. I was like, nah, I don't need college. I'll figure something out. Then I got a husband. I was like, sweet, I'm set. Now I can have kids. All right, I think I might. Let me switch over because I do want to read over this a little bit. So I don't know. Maybe I'll be a little quiet for a bit. I was kind of doing scene by scene. You definitely got the better deal. I think so. I definitely think so. I don't know. There's always a like, if there's a need for a degree, like if you have a path in mind that requires a degree to get to, and you've got like a plan for it, go for it. But if it's just a degree for a degree, there's other ways I want to spend my time. Let's see, where is... Oh wait, no, there we are. No, go back. I have my document right here. Okay. Oh, I know. So maybe I'll read another story before I go to bed. One of the stories that I think Kirsova House gave me some stories that I can read to you guys to help promote them. So maybe I'll do a little bit of, maybe I'll go over at least one scene. It's really short. I mean, this is a short story. Maybe I'll go over a little bit, and then if you guys stick around, I'll read you a story. That'll be my carrot to you guys at the end of a stick, is hang around for a minute while I edit to, like, hold myself accountable to actually, like, do some writing-related stuff, and then I'll read you a story. Degrees kind are becoming a dying thing, no? It's like I don't know, it's very complicated, but it's also, like, it just seems like it doesn't seem like higher education, it just seems like the next step after high school, where it's like everyone just goes to that, and then it takes a lot of money. I don't know, to me the main merit is, like, if you need that piece of paper for something. I don't know. It's definitely complicated, especially in the States, with all the student debt and everything. I think all of my brothers, none of them have gone, like, straight into college after high school. They've taken, like, a year at least. You don't need college. You don't need college for that MRS degree. Yeah, unless you, like, go to, you know, enroll in, like, a medical school to snag an MRS degree. But nah, I got it right. Right in the right timing. God's time was just perfect. Let's see. I have the unfortunate personality quirk of annoy me enough, and I'll do the task slower because F you, yeah. If you're getting interrupted, just do it slower. I don't know about dying, but I'm more segregated. Like, there is a widening divide between academia and everyday folk. Yeah, it's kind of all over the place. Definitely kind of all over the place. And then apparently, like, trying to search for a job is just, like, awful. I was seeing, like, one video where people were like, taking stuff off their resume to get a job, or, like, I'm sure lots of companies have, like, weird algorithms and stuff that look at things, and it's just, I don't know, it seems awful out right now trying to get a job. And then with inflation and things are just, what was it? I saw someone else that was like, everyone wants, like, all the rich CEOs are like, no one wants to work anymore, but they forget the other part where it's like, no one wants to work for peanuts anymore. I don't know. It's a wild world out there right now. Anyway, let's go back to fiction. That's a nice place to be, in fiction. I didn't go to college. I didn't either. I looked at it and I was like, nah. Alright, I am going to read through this scene. I'll do at least a couple scenes, and then I'll read you guys a story. And I'll keep an eye on chat so we can still chit-chat. Think of it as, like, hanging out at your friend's house while you guys work on things or something. Something like that. My character is in a very depressed mood right now. Go back to fiction where it's happy. Everyone's sad. I just heard Milliardo say Aurora Borealis. He's saying the meme. He loves that meme. I can hear him from all the way upstairs. He loves steamed hams. He loves it. He loves it so much. I'm distracted by listening to him. He's using his projection voice. I can hear him. Oh no, I need to focus. I better here. Let me put my other. I have, like, my headphone, like, half on, half off, so I can listen for Dough Baby. But I'm gonna put it all the way on so I can focus. All right, reading time. This is like a handful of paragraphs. Let me read this. Now this isn't working. I don't think I can try and. I don't know. I don't think I can write and stream at the same time because I'm too aware that I'm streaming. So it's hard to like, I don't know, too self-conscious because I'm like, I'm streaming. There are people watching me. I should entertain them. And I can't get, I don't know, it's harder to just focus on the world. So anyway, I think I'll read to you guys. I'll pull up a story to read to you guys. Give me just a sec. Morning, Minnow. Hello there, Wild Doge. Let's see. I went to college, felt scammed. I'm sorry, Salty. I think that is a very common feeling among many, many people. Let's see. As I am listening to you talk, I am just doing car photo shoots in the Crew MotoFest expensive cars. Ooh, very fun. My brothers really like cars. My sister likes cars too. She was having fun counting all the fancy cars in South Korea when we were there. She had just like this running tally and she would just randomly like say a number and it would be her counting another one of the cars. I think she listed how many cars she saw when she was on stream last. I don't know. I guess I never got into cars, but everyone else likes cars. Look at ladder. Do you start at the top or do you climb from the bottom? I mean, unless I can teleport, I'd have to climb from the bottom. Write a fanfic of FlaVR. That could be a fun stream. It'd be fun to do a writing stream. Actually, you know what? You know what I could do? Well, no. My brain's too scattered to try and write and stream at the same time. But you know what? Sometime I should, because I have done a stream where I was like writing with chat, and I didn't completely finish the story. I don't know. Maybe I could do that. I don't know. I think my brain's too scattered. That's the thing, is like late at night is when I have time, but my brain power isn't always great. And there's been some weekends that I'll like, you know, find some time to like go to a coffee shop by myself and write some. I don't know. It's just hard, man. It's hard finding the time. I don't know, maybe I might be able to fit it in here and there more during the day, especially if the kids are like playing outside or something. I'll figure it out. I don't know. My brain is working at like 30%, it feels like right now. So I think I'll just read a story to you guys. But anyway, sometime I should do a stream where I finish writing that story with chat. And it was about like a little boy in a donut shop during wartime. It was kind of fun. It was kind of fun how it was going. I need to finish it up. Do I have it over here somewhere? I wonder what I did with it. My brain. I cannot think straight tonight. Do I try and write some of it? Or do I... Oh no, both gates have been breached. Fight, Milliardo, you can do it. I can't... Oh no, every time I like listen to him, then I'm like, oh, now I'm distracted. His voice is just too good. Let's see. A few times I have done Write With Me streams. I generally did the Pomodoro thing and ignored chat while the timer was going. But yeah, writing and streaming is not easy. Oh, okay, that makes sense, where it's like there's a timer going and then you check. That's kind of like if you're doing, I think, like a study along. I've seen that too. That's basically how jobs work. You don't instantly get boss, you climb. Oh, is that what the ladder referred to? Okay. That was a fun story. Let me see if I can find it. Maybe we can finish that one up. Where is it? I can't even remember what I named it. Oh, let's see. Donut hole story. Here, let me see. Let's see if I can screen share this one. Give me a moment. Oh wait, but I don't have the other background, do I? I have like the classroom background, but I'll just scoop myself. I need to get this OBS set up all the way like the other one, so that way I can use whichever laptop works best, because I feel like Milliardo wanted to be able to game, so I didn't want to take the other laptop if this one would work. Alright, let's see. What do I need? I need window capture. Let's see. That looks like it would work. Let's see where I can put it. Let's move me over here again. And just make small, very small Minna. What am I doing? Ah! Put me over here in this corner. How's that look? Yeah, good enough. Okay, and then can adjust this guy here. Good enough. Okay. There we go. Here's the little story we made a while ago. Let's see what we have. We got plot. There's a boy looking for donut holes, but there's a war about to start. Those are two strings, chat. Need 2 strings. Scene, donut shop, running into the street. Let's see. The donut hole is how he is noticing that there is change and something big is about to happen. What is happening to the donut holes? 1, they're giving them to soldiers. 2, the rationing, flour and sugar shortage. 3, turning the donut holes into more donuts, more bang for your buck. 4, they start tasting different. Alright, so these were ideas. Alright, I guess let's read what we got. Tommy started to worry on the 3rd week that they didn't have donut holes. Gosh, my brain. Oh, probably no one, that's why. No one else at the Sunday brunch seemed to notice, or if they did, they never said anything about it. There were many things the grown-ups seemed to never say around him. Tommy often heard Mommy whispering to Daddy. Maybe they were hiding the donut holes from him? The 4th week was even worse. Not only did the donuts taste different, but Mommy said, no when he asked to make cookies. She had sat down and tried to explain something to him, but he didn't hear. He was too sad that they couldn't bake together and eat cookies. On week 6, he had almost had enough of this. He wanted donut holes. But this was different. Before church, they stopped to pick up the donuts. Tommy couldn't believe his luck. He rushed in, scanning the glass case with row after row of perfectly shaped donuts, and not one donut hole. The disappointment was overwhelming. He melted to the floor, his wails making his mother jump and chide him. I just want a donut hole. Alright, I guess that's how far we had written. And then the rest, this is what I do if I'm, like, writing a scene and, like, I have all the rest of the scene in my head, but not enough time to, like, fully write it down, is I make little, like, sort of bullet points of, like, mother's confused, donut guy offers a donut, boy vents about his frustration, adults start to understand, a man in uniform walks in to pick up for the recruitment station, the aha moment, baker making a special donut hole and special donut hole whenever he wants. Alright, so that was our little kind of mini story. So I wonder, maybe we can finish this up. Let's see. My brain doesn't work well at 1:30 in the morning. Let's see. Hiya, Minna. Hello there, the best badness for 20k. Seeing if I can finish this little story. Let's see. I'm gonna kind of glance over it again. I'm not sure about that opening line. I probably need to work on that opening line. Let's see. much my brain's stuffed with nowadays. Let's see. So the fourth week was even worse. Not only did the donuts taste different. This is unclear. Is it just donuts? Is it donut holes? I think, let's see. I don't know if I want to mention donuts here. Maybe just he has to make cookies. Mommy had said no. Or just maybe mommy said no. He's probably a very little kid. Sat down and tried to explain something to him, but he didn't hear. He was too sad that they couldn't bake together and eat cookies. Week 6, he almost had enough of this. He wanted donut holes. But this was different. Some of this doesn't make sense. Now would it make sense if instead of having little donut holes, they like take the extra dough and make more donuts? Maybe. Oh, I don't know. Ooh. You're gonna make me start yawning. I mean, yeah. Sorry. It's pretty late. I don't know. I'm not sure what to do with this story. I don't think I have the brain capacity for it at the moment. Do you guys want me to try and... Because we could probably at least like get something down. Would you guys rather work on this story together? Or would you like me to read you another story? Oh, but do I have it on here? I'd have to go find it. I have the stories from the Kursova house. That was like the Mongoose and Meerkat. Meerkat and Mongoose. It was a fun little adventure story. Should I try and read one of those instead? Let's see. See, in week 6, you'd almost had enough of this. I feel like I should look up what bakeries did during the war. What war should it be? World War I or II? Which one had a more like sudden recruitment? Let's see, what did bakeries do during... Let's try World War I first. How did I put my headphone back? I thought I had brought it around to like block out sounds. There we go. Let's see. Okay, maybe this one? Look up an article. I'm also going to look up World War II. Let's see. Oh, or it could be Britain. Maybe it's in Britain instead of America. Oh, that's a spy. Let's see. Baking during a kind of crisis. Let's see. The American baking industry found itself during the war. The American baking industry found itself during the war, declared the Ward Baking Company in their 1920 publication Bread Facts. Oh, that looks fun. Proclaimed before the sliced bread era, the technology was created in 1917 but found the audience in 1920. It may feel like an overstretched statement. The national food effort and reorganization of supply chains served an Allied victory and inarguably changed how Americans ate, prepared, and thought about food. During this current era of uncertainty and multitude of parallels, including the unifying role of baking, arise with a time 100 years ago when the nation grappled with the world's first truly global war. In World War I, food scientists around the nation focused on bread making as essential to winning the war. Government commissions studied baking and milling to economize both process and nutritional value, recognizing that wheat, having been essential in European food aid prior to U.S. entry into World War I in April 1917, was one of the major energy sources for Americans both over there and on the home front, feeding more than 4 million Americans serving the U.S. Army Armed Forces while continuing to supply agriculture provisions for allies, was a technical feat that relied upon military precision and a broad base of support among the population. I'm pretty sure, I'm thinking about a book I read about the Dust Bowl, because like with the war and the wheat and everything, they like planted a lot more fields with wheat, but then that just caused more issues because of the soil setup and everything. And then once the war was over, then the farmers weren't able to make the same, like, enough living, because then prices, like, I guess the flour wasn't as in high demand, and so it wasn't the same price, and then the farmers struggled and had to leave, and the land was kind of stripped because of the wheat fields. Anyway, in the early 20th century, Americans obtained nearly 30% of their calories from bread. To conserve the necessary wheat to ship overseas, as many Europeans had neither the facilities nor familiarity to efficiently process other grains such as corn at the time. Americans had to make individual choices for change every day. A major effort for patriotic wheat conservation, both local and federally funded, meant an emphasis on using alternative ingredients to wheat flour in homes and restaurants: buckwheat, rice, rye, gram flour, cornmeal, potato, sweet and white, among others, all items that may feel modern to the 21st century cook. The U.S. government declared if each member of an American family gave up a slice of bread a day, each household could share 191 loaves with those in need. Save a loaf a week. Help win the war. Eat more corn, oats, and rye products, fish and poultry, fruits, vegetables, and potatoes, baked, boiled, and boiled foods. Eat less wheat, meat, sugar, and fats to save for the army and our allies. It's all very interesting. I guess the wheat, meat, and sugar and fats, whatever's the most like portable and distributable, is what they need for the army. There's a lot of that other stuff is perfectly fine food. Home economists drew from the diverse population and agricultural regions of the U.S. to source new recipes for this national objective. On both a wave of nutritional practicality and colonial nostalgia throughout the country, cornmeal was a herald, having found its way into griddle cakes, donuts, and blueberry muffins. Cornmeal created both a textural and nourishing addition. Rye flour, already heavily used in the Northeast and particularly in immigrant communities, gained such popularity that the U.S. Food Administration withdrew it from the substitute list in less than a year because of fear of shortage. In buying sprees foretelling the toilet paper run of 2022 or 2020, there was a shortage of sugar in the U.S. in 1917, ushered into reality from both an increase of canning and the fear of shortage. The challenge for the American baker during World War I, as in 2020, was not a death of agricultural products, but distribution of the supply chain. The railroad lines that crisscrossed the nation carrying foodstuff were the same network needed for immediate transport of millions of individuals serving the U.S. military and other organizations in support of World War I efforts. Your sugar ration is 2 pounds per month. We must confine our consumption of sugar. 2 pounds per month doesn't seem too bad. Emphasis was placed on buying locally to save shipping for the war effort. The nation was motivated to avoid waste by focusing on plentiful usage of seasonal foods. An outpouring of effort by national, state, and local authorities explained how individual choices maintained the health of the society at whole and bettered the world. Recipes applicable 100 years later for time past or gluten-sensitive Americans were created. As part of a proactive measure, the U.S. government issued thousands of educational materials, including posters, pamphlets, and exhibitions. The War in the Kitchen cookbook was published in January 1918 as part of the continuing efforts to help preserve precious food items such as meat and sugar by encouraging less usage or using substitutes then. The notion was that by voluntarily taking these actions at home, those items would be preserved the greater good for American soldiers fighting the war. I wonder what they needed the sugar for. If it was like preservation or something else. At least one of the 5 people in the U.S. were at least 1 out of 5 people in the U.S. were either immigrants or first-generation American during the time of the war. Many cookbooks featured curries, teriyakis, and brochettes, amongst other recipes. That tamales and risados found their place among patriotic recipes. Replacing white bread is no surprise. The U.S. government reached out to non-English speaking communities to promote the notion of Americans all by encouraging them to change their baking habits. For some, however, the national effort of food reform translated as culinary assimilation, where particular dark breads or sourdoughs might be seen as unwholesome or un-American. What's that mean? For some reason, however, the national effort of food reform translated as culinary assimilation, where particular dark breads or sourdoughs might be seen as unwholesome or un-American. That's weird, because that was like what they were trying to get them to do. Despite racial and ethnic prejudices, the U.S. government suggested bakers could assist with achieving victory in the war by adjusting any recipe for sweet yeasted goods, crackers, biscuits, cakes, pies, fried cakes, pastries, so that 1/3 of the flour did not come from wheat. The effort to decrease the consumption of meat and animal fats gave rise to alternative fats seen as regional peanut butter and cottonseed, foreign olive oil, and modern Crisco. Whether keeping the voluntary restrictions or not, baking was a personal and proactive way to keep in touch with loved ones who weren't able to be in a person's physical presence. There are masses of letters and diaries in the National World War I Museum and Memorial Archive that joyfully express thanks for cakes, praises the deliciousness of cookies, and talk about how grateful people were for receiving postal deliveries of sweets. Baking draws in even those not so far away, and as exemplified in a delightful letter by a young woman writing her future husband about a disagreement with her parents, interrupted by the line, "Mother is making cookies. Gee, they smell good." It's kind of funny. There was no return to normalcy from the war-era food changes, and the American culinary scene is arguably better for it. Following World War I, the nearly 2 million men and women who served overseas returned to the U.S., with many still longing for the donuts and coffee they encountered for the first time through the Salvation Army and other organizations. Today, their work, including providing a taste of home, would be considered mental health support on the front lines of Europe, in part by serving a sweet treat. Trying to meet the increased demand of returning World War I veterans, Russian-born Adolf Levitt built a donut-making machine in 1920, which led to the rise of donut shops around the nation by mid-century. I don't think we can add that to the story, though, because that kind of followed and wasn't at the beginning, and our story is at the beginning. Finding inspiration from World War I era bakers means heading into the kitchen for substitute-laden, time-crunched, non-perfect baking. At the time, they found themselves in the midst of a global pandemic, a raging battle to define full American citizenship, and for those who could vote, addressing questions of how to cast a ballot amid partisan Congress. In that context, relating to the plight of Americans 100 years ago is easy, I guess. Whether cornbread, quick bread, or sourdough, there were motives 100 years ago to fill stomachs when budgets were lean, to do something more for the community, and to alleviate sourness within the occupants of one's home. MFK Fisher, one of the most influential food authors in American history, said that everyone should make time for bread baking. Yes, based. She said there is no chiropractic treatment, no yoga exercise, no hour of meditation that will leave you emptier of bad thoughts than this homely ceremony of bread making. That's an interesting quote. Ultimately, baking can help us raise towards peace, and that may be the best thing since sliced bread. That was an interesting article. Alright, well that gives me some stuff for the story. Got to go to work. Have a good stream, everyone. Thanks for coming by. Loop Blanc. Hope you have a good day at work. Hi, Minna. How are you? I'm doing pretty well. I'm pretty tired. I was reading about donuts and bread in World War I to kind of try and write this story. So maybe I'll add some lines and then, I don't know, I guess I should probably sleep. 2 a.m. is usually like, I should sleep when it's 2 a.m. It's very interesting how the war has changed cooking. I think it was a net good bring in more like sourdough and rye. But then you get things like Crisco. Let's see. Where's my document? Alright, so it definitely tastes different. Let's see here. Alright, there we go. Let's see, how do we want to do this? feel like it doesn't make sense now to be like, oh, we can't bake cookies. Maybe... should we say... Maybe they just were low on sugar? Let's see. The 4th week was even worse. He asked to make cookies, but Mommy said they didn't have enough sugar, maybe? Oh, maybe she was, let's add that she was canning. Or maybe she said they need to save the sugar for canning. Maybe they would make cookies in a couple weeks. Then she tried to explain to him. He was upset. Let's see. He went to the hole. He very bad while his hair. He's taken. Tommy couldn't believe his luck. Finally donuts. He rushed in. Scanning the case with row after row of perfectly shaped donuts. And not one donut hole. Let's see. Let's see, he probably just melts down. Oh, there's a baby. Alright, time to end stream. There's baby. Alright, thanks for coming, guys. Okay, let me see if I can do something here. Alright, thank you so much for joining me. My brain really isn't working for writing, even though I really want to. Thanks for whatever this stream was. It was fun. So I think hopefully next time I can do the other thing I wanted to do. Anyway, thanks for coming. Stay fresh, my friends. Until next time. See ya. Bye.